Achieve optimal scintillation at the Seattle International Film Festival, May 7th through 17th. With 203 films from over 70 countries, the festival will immerse you in a cinematic experience unlike anywhere else. Discover independent and international films, in person, in the heart of Seattle. There's something for everyone, so join the community and start experimenting. Additional information and tickets on sale now at sif.net/festival. In Dundee, Oregon, there's this monthly event in the heart of downtown that brings art, wine, music, and locally made goods to life. They call it Third Thursday. This May, and all throughout the summer and fall, stroll the streets of Dundee and experience wine country charm at a slower, more intentional pace. It's free and open to all, which makes it an approachable way to explore Dundee for the first time, while supporting local businesses. Visit traveldundee.com/citycast to unlock exclusive lodging deals for your stay in the Willamette Valley. This is CityCast Seattle. I'm Jane C. Hu, and here's what Seattle's talking about. Everyone I know has a Kenji López-Alt story, whether it's one of his recipes or cookbooks that changed their connection to cooking, or a recommendation of his that led them to their new favorite spot. Joining us on the pod today is James Beard award-winning chef, food scientist, and best-selling author of The Food Lab, The Walk, and Every Night is Pizza Night. Welcome to the podcast, Kenji López-Alt.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, Kenji, I distinctly remember the buzz when you moved to town. Like, friends of mine who don't even live in Seattle were like, did you know Kenji lives in Seattle now? And I was like, oh, dang, okay, I got to check out what he's checking out. I just wanted to ask, like, what brought you to Seattle?
Oh, I love Seattle. My ex-wife and I were having another child, and we're looking for, like, a bigger place. We were living in the Bay Area at the time, and we were like, we come to Seattle so frequently, and it's like, I love it every time. So, like, why don't we look up there? And it was during the pandemic, and so both of us were not going into jobs. So it seemed like the right time to do it. And so we did. We moved, November of 2020.
Ooh, it was a weird time then. But yeah, a good time to pick up and move and check out a new place. So I actually also moved from the Bay Area up to Seattle, but years before you. What did you find was, I guess, different about Seattle compared to the Bay, especially in terms of the food scene?
It's much greener, than the Bay Area. It's a much more lush place. And so, you get different sets of ingredients up here just because of that. And I think the seasons here are also more distinct. I grew up in the Northeast where there's really distinct seasons. And so that cooking to match the weather is something that I was used to growing up. And then living in the Bay Area where it was just mild all year round, I sort of missed that element of it. I lived in Boston for a long time also, for like 10 years. Seattle and Boston have a sort of similar thing where there's a lot of casual seafood. In cities like New York and San Francisco, where I've also lived, it feels like if you're going to get seafood, it's going to be more expensive, whereas like, Seattle, there's abundant, inexpensive seafood. Well, inexpensive as far as Seattle goes. Yeah, for sure. God, what I miss most about the Bay, though, is the abundance of strawberries and just how cheap and like how frequently they were in season. Like, I feel like April to like November, but but we have more berries in Seattle and the Pacific Northwest than anywhere else in the world.
So true. And they're free. I remember that being one of the first things I did was like, it was at Discovery Park and was like, look at all these free blackberries. And it turns out
they're invasive blackberries. But
exactly. You're like, I'm getting free berries and I'm helping eradicate this invasive species a little bit. Not that it is ever going away, but well, okay, Kenji, so since you've arrived in Seattle, I feel like you've been kind of a tastemaker. Like, you have gone out so many different places, and I've definitely heard about, people being like, oh, I heard about this from Kenji, and it's blown up for a few weeks after your recommendation. How do you find new spots, and what goes into your decision to feature them?
I didn't set out to be a tastemaker. My goal, when I moved to Seattle, having been a restaurant owner during the pandemic, I knew how difficult it was. And so, and I also find that you really get to know a place by going out and eating. and seeing what cultures have influenced the food scene here, because it gives you an eye into the history of immigration and cultures mixing in the city. So my goal was, just go find good places, try and go to different neighborhoods. And that way I can sort of get to know my city, my new city. I find places generally just by people recommending them to me. And I find that the more freely I share my recommendations, like people are always willing to like jump in the comments and say, oh, if you like this, go try this place or go try that place. And so that's generally how I do it. And the why I do it is because I enjoy it.
Yeah. No, I mean, getting out and trying new places, it's always just kind of a joy to see there's always something new opening in Seattle, I feel like also.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Seattle, it feels like it's manageable. Like I lived in New York for a long time and I was also doing restaurant coverage then. And that was just like overwhelming all the time. Whereas Seattle feels like, very manageable in that regard.
Yeah.
Like there's really great food and there's always something exciting going on, but there's like not so much that you just feel like dizzy.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I guess speaking of restaurant coverage, I feel like traditionally restaurant coverage has meant critic in a lot of cases. Mm-hmm. We talked with a friend of yours, also Zoe Khan, a few months ago about her role. She goes out and tries sandwiches. I know you all have been out together too.
Yeah.
And she described herself as more of a celebrator rather than a critic. And I'm curious what you see your role as.
The role of a critic, I think, is to really do reporting on a restaurant that is of interest, and that could include saying bad things, saying good things, just generally criticizing. But my goal, like on my social media, is really just lead people to good food. If I were to share like a negative experience at a restaurant, it's not really that useful because like most people who are going to see that post probably weren't planning on going to that restaurant in the first place, So I find generally like expending energy on doing something negative, especially like in an industry that is so difficult in the first place, like is just not what I'm about,
Yeah, just not how you want to spend your time.
Yeah. And I don't think it's helpful to anybody other than, like the feeding this desire for like watching accidents. People like reading gossip and horror stories. It just feeds negativity.
Yeah. Okay, so settle a long-standing debate among Seattleites.
Okay.
Is Seattle a real fine dining town?
It depends what you mean by fine dining. Seattle's a very casual town. I think Canlis at one point had a dress code, but they don't anymore. Although they did once make me wear a jacket when I came in straight from a fishing trip and I was like covered in fish guts. But Seattle doesn't really have a fine dining scene. But that doesn't mean that there isn't like an exciting food scene here. There's still chefs who are doing really creative and interesting and, difficult things. It's just all done in a more casual way.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of even places like Altura. They're doing really amazing dishes, artfully presented.
Yeah.
And I think I've shown up there in jeans.
They're still doing like tasting menu only, right?
Yeah. And they've got their little sister restaurant across the street, which is Corello, I believe, which is a little less expensive. But I've always been kind of surprised that there's no like super buttoned up fancy place with a dress code, really, besides Canlis.
People just refuse, No,
absolutely. So speaking of people enjoying gossip and train wrecks, I do feel like lately in town, there has been no shortage of scandals in the restaurant industry. I mean, not just in Seattle, but honestly, just globally even. But
yeah, I mean, the whole Noma thing, I think it triggered another round of stories coming out.
So for people who don't know about Noma, can you say a bit about what happened there?
Noma is a restaurant in Copenhagen that by whatever arbitrary standards like these lists make up has been voted like the best restaurant in the world multiple times on multiple lists. The chef there, Rene Redzepi, he was accused by multiple people in a story in the New York Times of really violent and abusive behavior, which is not new in kitchens, unfortunately not. But he was a very high profile guy. It happened right as he was opening up this $1,500 a head pop up in LA, which I think is dumb for many reasons. I think part of the whole scandal is the way that he dealt with it, which is like sort of like incrementally apologizing more as more things came to light, then eventually claiming he was stepping down, but really, not actually stepping down.
So Noma, I feel like, was on the kind of international stage. Like I saw people all over the world talking about this, leaving comments on the initial posts from the chef. But I feel like here in town, too, there have been allegations of abuse in the restaurant industry or a lot of reports of wage theft or just outright lack of payment. I mean, you mentioned none of this is particularly new, but why are we hearing it? Is it just me that it feels like we're hearing more about it now? Like, is it that?
I don't think so. Yeah. No. I think restaurants, because of their structure, they start to feel the squeeze of wealth disparity sooner than a lot of other businesses might. And generally, the people that get squeezed are the wait staff and the cooks, the people who have not that much power. What we often get wrong when talking about this is pitting employees against owners or, employees against chefs, which I think is a mistake, because it's definitely true, of course, that there are chefs out there who are bad actors or deadbeats or can't get their shit in order, Of course that exists. And I support employees unionizing and fighting for their own rights. But the bigger issue is that on all levels, from leadership to employees, restaurants are getting squeezed and food prices are not going down. And Seattle has this other sort of wrinkle with our tipping policy, how employees, they make a basic hourly wage here, at least minimum wage, and then they get tipped out on top of that. But some restaurants and some servers don't like the whole tipping system and have moved towards like a mandatory gratuity. It gets complicated on many levels because then like those restaurants will automatically add charges to your bill, which upsets customers. But the reason they do it is because if they included it in the price, then you wouldn't go there and you would go to another place that's hiding the number. Yeah. The reality is that like restaurants have very slim margins, and you're like always one little exploding toilet away from not being able to pay your employees. And I think that happens. And while there are, of course, bad employers, I think it's wrong to frame the argument consistently as workers versus owners, when really it's like everybody versus the insane wealth disparity and the insane cost of real estate and all those factors that are exacerbating these problems.
So what I'm hearing is this is a recession indicator.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I mean, the tough thing here, I feel like I've seen a few cases in which, the workers sometimes are kind of calling out their employer or, saying we're going on strike or we are just closing the restaurant and not working because we're not getting paid. What is the role of a consumer? Like, I am always unsure whether I should go back to that place knowing that this has happened. If I don't go there, they're definitely going to go under because now they're not bringing in any money. But also, is there any way to ever know if changes have been made to make this a better workplace for people?
Yeah, I mean, that's a difficult question. If changes have been made, because there's probably restaurants you're going to right now that have bad work environments or bad pay structures, and you just don't know it because they haven't come out with that yet. I think it kind of depends like how deeply you want to, how much this matters to you and how deeply you want to research a place before you go. I generally try and research a place before I go and see if there's any sort of this history and what has been done to address it. I mean, like Noma, for example, supposedly changes have been made, and you can sort of maybe trust that those changes have been made, but it doesn't really change what happened in the past. And very often, like, you find that there's not a real sort of redemption there from past wrongs. And so that, that's something I also try and look at, is to see, has this person actually changed? What have they done to make amends for their past behavior, all that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like there's no incentive necessarily for a restaurateur to be super transparent about that. Let's take a break. More questions for Kenji after this.
Hey Seattle, if you've ever wanted to see our Pacific Northwest whales, this is your moment. FRS Clipper Whale Watching is the only whale and wildlife tour departing from right in downtown Seattle. And this year, for their 40th anniversary, they're launching a brand new catamaran, the Emerald Clipper. It was built right here in Washington State, and it's designed for comfort and incredible views with spacious outdoor decks, floor-to-ceiling windows, and onboard naturalists who help you actually understand what you're seeing aboard this floating classroom. Out on the Salish Sea, you might encounter humpbacks feeding, killer whales hunting, gray whales cruising, plus bald eagles and seals and sea lions. It's not just a tour, it's a full wildlife experience. And they have a whale sighting guarantee, so if you don't see whales, you'll get a complimentary tour to use in the future. Spots fill quickly as the season ramps up, so don't wait. In fact, Sam and I have already booked our trip, and we cannot wait. You can book early too. Just go to whalewatching.com. That's whalewatching.com.
All right, I want to shift gears a little bit, and I want to get some recommendations from you about cooking and about food. So now that the weather is getting warm again, I'm finding that I'm way worse at finding time to cook. Like something about the winter allows me to like hunker down, like, you know, like I'll sit in the kitchen for an afternoon and make big batches of things. But now with the sun still being out after work, I want to just finish work, like go for a bike ride. And then suddenly it's 8 p.m. and I'm like eating some toast or like a couple of clementines for dinner. And I need your help. I need to know, what are your recommendations for when you are tired of cooking or it's late and you haven't made anything yet? Like, what is the Kenji version of a girl dinner?
I go out and get food.
That's fair. What if I'm trying to be responsible and on a budget?
I mean, I love making sandwich. Like I find like a good sandwich is always something I can pull together. If I've forgotten to eat during the day, I'm like, oh shit, I need something like in 3 minutes. It's like a quesadilla always hits for me.
Yes.
If we go to the farmer's market one weekend, I'll overbuy. And so like, I'll be trying to figure out how to get rid of vegetables that week. So some simple vegetable preparation.
What are you getting from the farmer's market these days that you're into?
Right now, asparagus. I mean, it's asparagus.
I got a bunch in my fridge too.
Yeah, I got a couple pounds in my fridge.
What are your go-to asparagus recipes then?
If I'm going to be indoors, I'll just broil it, peel the tougher parts of the stem and then just broil it. Or like just briefly boil it in salted water and shock it and then like make like a homemade herb mayo, something for dipping, you know?
Ooh, that sounds good.
Or like a hollandaise. I also love grilled asparagus with like lemon and some chopped anchovy and garlic.
Oh, chopped anchovy is definitely an improvement I'd not thought of. Okay.
Yeah, just like mix up some lemon juice and chopped anchovy and like one garlic clove and olive oil, you know, and just like mix it up and pour it over the asparagus. It's good.
So good. I'm so glad it's almost summer again. Okay. Our producer, Liam, also wants to know, he has 2 young kids.
Okay.
How do you get your kids to eat exciting foods that are not carbs and fruit?
Well, with my daughter, Alicia, it was very easy because she just likes everything. And my 4-year-old doesn't like everything. He's a very pasta, rice, eggs kind of kid. But
sounds about right for 4. Yeah.
Yeah. We just have a basic, you got to try it rule. And if you don't like something, like you should just remember that like you don't like it today, but you might like it next time.
It could change.
It could change. True. And then, you know, don't punish kids for not liking something. Like my mom used to force us to eat everything on the plate, even if we hated it. I don't think that's a healthy way to do it.
Surefire way to turn kids off. I think that's why I don't like mushrooms very much. Like I'm just kind of in my 30s coming into trying them again. Like I basically am gentle parenting myself into liking mushrooms again.
Well, there's a lot of mushrooms in Seattle.
There are. And unfortunately, I'm discovering that I only like the really expensive ones. So I'm trying to work my way to the cheaper ones. So I also just saw on Instagram that you are working with Andrew Rubenstein at Hey Bagel on something. And I would love to know more about it because I love Hey Bagel. So
I've known Andrew for a while now, and we just thought it'd be fun to work on a limited time thing at the bagel shop together. I think it's probably going to come out in the fall, but yeah, we've just kind of been experimenting with flavors and ingredients.
What does riffing with another chef look like?
Well, a lot of it is, throwing ideas back and forth, and then I'll make a bunch of test batches and we'll try them out. And then we kind of refine from there. It's sort of like any recipe development. You come up with ideas, you test them, and then you come up with new ideas, and you just kind of iterate until you get something you like. At least that's how I work.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask, like, how do you work? Like, I only really have experience trying to be creative as like a writer. And I know that as a writer, sometimes for months, ideas are kind of elusive and you're kind of, you're like, I just got nothing. Like, I feel no creativity. I don't feel particularly inspired.
Yeah, I get that in both departments. Like I get, months where I don't feel inspired to write anything or I don't feel creative. And similarly with coming up with recipes. But I always find that if I go and eat more and like try other people's food more, or if I read other people's books or other people's writing more, like that always inspires in some way, whether it's like reminding you that, oh, this is a thing I enjoy doing, or, it's like you like something really interesting about like the structure of their writing or the flavors they're using. Creativity is really just like connecting dots that once you connect them, it seems obvious, but like they hadn't been connected before, either in your brain or in like the best cases, like you make other people see something in a really interesting and new way. And that you can't really force those connections like with writing or with recipe ideas. Like I usually get them like when I'm taking a bath or like,
on a walk.
In bed or on a walk. Yeah. I find that the best strategy for coming up with creative ideas is just like feed your brain as many like points as possible. And then, just take very long baths until some dots connect.
Yeah. I like the idea of feeding your brain and then feed your body.
Yeah.
Well, Kenji López-Alt, thank you so much for joining us on the pod today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're talking about the most gourmet of foods, the Costco food court. I have a confession, which is I have never eaten at Costco. But I understand there is news, and here to discuss, our Gasper, creative producer Liam Billingham. Welcome, Liam.
Hello.
Shock and awe. We also have executive producer Ashley Smith. Ashley, I understand you are a connoisseur.
Oh, absolutely. Costco forever, baby.
A Costco-sir, if you will.
Ooh, there we go.
Boo, tomato.
Oh, come on.
I feel like everyone in Seattle knows that like Costco is kind of a local institution-ish.
A Kirkland institution, correct?
I think so. I actually went to like the history of Costco like page on their website. In 1983, the first Costco warehouse location was opened in Seattle. Technically, there was the first Costco was opened in San Diego, but it was called Price Club at the time, and it only served businesses, not like individuals. So the first real Costco warehouse, that, as we know it today, opened in Seattle. So local institution.
So what's going on at Costco? What is going on with the food court? I hear there's some new menu change-ups.
Well, if we're to read from the Fox News headline, it says, quote, Costco fans erupt after beloved food court item replaced by high-calorie newcomer. And what they're talking about is they're replacing the calzones with a 5-piece order of chicken strips, which sounds delightful.
What was wrong with the calzone? Why did they get rid of it? I didn't even know that Costco had calzones, quite honestly.
I don't know if there's anything wrong with the calzone, but I feel like it's a inferior product to their slices of pizza. Like, just get a slice of pizza.
I've never seen anyone order a calzone in my life, to be honest.
You know what? You're right. You're goddamn right. So maybe just nobody orders
Except
them.
for the Ben on Parks and Recreation.
I literally was just thinking of him. So for folks who didn't watch that show, Ben Wyatt, a character, had a business plan for a calzone restaurant called the Low Cal Calzone Zone.
That's beautiful.
Would a depressed person do this?
Yeah. But okay, so I realize that I'm lying because I have never eaten food at Costco, but I have had Costco pizza.
Okay.
Which is decent. I mean, it's kind of what you think it would be. It's like a cheap pizza, which is great.
I cannot leave Costco now when we usually go on the weekends with the kids, it's a great way to kill a couple of hours and get groceries and stuff without like a piece of their pepperoni pizza and like a crisp Coke Zero.
Oh, yeah.
It's essential. I can't not do it.
Costco's been making great moves lately. They recently switched from Pepsi to Coke products. That was such an
much better
ideal choice. Yes. I guess they made like a little change to their $1.50 hot dog combo, which like freaked everyone out because the CEO said that he would never, ever charge more for that. And they're not, but that was like kind of a bait and switch. It just basically, instead of getting a Coke Zero or some kind of soda, you can now get a bottle of water for health.
A healthy choice.
Yes.
Are the hot dogs good?
I think so. This is an insane thing to say. My favorite hot dog is a Costco hot dog from the food court.
My beloved 3-year-old son got a Costco hot dog recently and housed it. He's kind of a picky eater, and he just
and
like
those are big hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really nailed it. So
I mean, it is the best deal in town. $1.50 for a hot
Doesn't
dog
get cheaper than that.
and a drink. But I mean, you have to have a membership, of course, so that's like an additional cost.
It pays it for itself. Like, I mean, we talk about affordability on this show, and this is legit. If you like get pizza, if I get pizza locally, a couple pizzas and like some garlic knots or whatever is like $70, right? It's like not cheap. You can get 2 pizzas at Costco for $25. Give or take.
Is that how cheap it is?
It's $10 for an 18-inch whole pizza.
That's suspiciously cheap. Almost.
I know. When you order a pizza anywhere in Seattle, like a whole pizza, it's like 30, 40, 50 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
$30 almost minimum. So
quality-wise, though, I guess actually depends on the place, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, you're not getting like high-end pizza, but there's something very satisfying, for me at least, of a slice of pepperoni pizza at the end of a Costco run, because it's usually lunchtime, you're hungry, you've survived the gauntlet of Costco. Oh, yeah.
That's your treat for going to Costco. Do you guys remember the Goofy movie, the pizza in the Goofy movie?
No.
The cheesiest. That's what I picture
Insane
Costco
cheese
pizza.
pull?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like if you get a slice of Costco cheese pizza, it's like an overwhelmingly amount of cheese, and it always reminds me of the Goofy movie.
The cheese pizza actually has more calories than the pepperoni pizza because of the amount of cheese that they put on it, per our friend Ben Keenan.
And more protein. It's like 44 grams of protein for a slice of cheese pizza from Costco. So you can hit your fitness goals at the same time.
Like protein maxing by having a single slice of Costco cheese pizza.
This chicken order sounds pretty intense, because let me just read this to you from the Seattle Times article. Delish.com reports that the strip contains 1,640 calories.
Each one?
No, that's like the total
whole,
for the meal.
okay.
But the review from the takeout describes the chicken strips as, quote, absolutely enormous. The entire serving, including the huge tub of sauce, is physically heavy. I like if they have to work on workers' comp, because the employees throw their backs out lifting up the chicken strips for you to take
High calorie newcomer. I like that.
Yeah, even in this Fox News article, they do refer to them as several large chicken tenders. Why are they so big?
Because this is Merca.
True. And it's Costco. I mean, Costco, everything is bigger, I guess.
That's true.
Jane, are you a chicken strips person? Are you a hot dog person? Are you what's your I know you have strange and controversial opinions on pizza. So
she said chicken strips. That means Will this get you to go to Costco?
It might. I just feel like whenever I'm in a Costco, I want to get out of there as quickly as possible. So lingering in the food court.
Yeah, I used to feel that way, and now I kind of like it. I kind of like walking through it, get your steps in.
What changed?
I had to learn, and this is going to be controversial, I had to learn to ignore the free sample stuff. Because I would get really annoyed when people were just standing waiting for the sample. Like, I just was like, what are we doing here? Like, just move on with your day. So I mostly ignore the free samples because I hate standing there waiting for them.
No, I think I just need to, like, do some kind of, like, meditation or, like, have a mantra when I'm in Costco that I am not there to be quick.
Right.
Because
no one can hurt me.
No. I'm always like, why has everybody got their cart completely blocking the aisle? And, this spatial awareness is difficult. And I feel like when you're at Costco, everyone's kind of on their own journey.
Very overstimulating, for sure.
This may be a little too poetic to talk about Costco, but there's a sort of symphony to the way the carts and everything move through it. You just got to get on the wavelength, you know?
Yeah, you got to lean into it. Don't try like salmon swimming up a stream. You go with the other salmon. You don't try to fight against,
And you can get affordable salmon, both frozen and fresh, at Costco. So
I feel like
Liam's
been
and it is
sponsored
not.
by Costco, and this is now
Liam, you're legally obligated to tell us.
I feel like I gotta go have those chicken strips. Give them a try.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know your thoughts. I mean, I haven't tried them yet, but
maybe
we'll go with you, Jane.
Little trip down there with Kenji López-Alt, the subject of the first two interviews, to have him taste.
Let's see if we can
I'm sure he likes a chicken strip.
I mean,
yeah.
Sure. Yes. We'll extend an invitation to Kenji and see if he wants to try out the Costco food court with us. Ashley Smith, thank you for bringing us the Costco news.
Absolutely.
And Liam Billingham, I guess I got to just try and be more zen the next time I'm at Costco.
Breathe in, breathe out.
That's all for today here at CityCast Seattle. I'm your host, Jane Sihu. We want to hear from you if you have a favorite Costco item or if you have another idea about what my girl dinner should be. Send us an email at seattle@citycast.fm. You can also text us or leave us a voicemail at 206-880-3931. Until next time, see ya, Seattle. If you're enjoying the podcast, be sure to follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen so you never miss an episode. Also, leave us a little review. It's really helpful. And tell your friends about us. You can also get more local news and events delivered right to your inbox by subscribing to our newsletter. Just go to seattle.citycast.fm. And you can find us on Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at CityCast Seattle. And you can watch full episodes of this show on YouTube.